Great to see we've got a good turnout today. So I know one of the things that, and I've been having discussions with a number of you on, are looking at the perspective of shop local initiatives, things that we're going to continue on with the support local. So and I know a number of you have some proposals forward, which is terrific that we're starting to think in that direction. What I wanted to do today, obviously, we've been working with Obby in regards to the GoodLocal that took place before Christmas. And there's some opportunities to continue that dialogue. So what I wanted to do today was is invited Obby to come on and kind of talk about GoodLocal to the network and opportunities that he may be able to provide some services to local chambers. So maybe with that, we'll allow Obby to sort of have the floor, have a bit of a discussion, and then we can ask some questions afterwards. So how does that work for you guys? All right, Obby, floor is yours, man.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Chuck. Nice to see everyone. I look forward to meeting all of you in the future at some point. Chuck, do I have screen sharing ability?
We should be able to do that for you. Corey, can you make sure he's got that?
Yep.
So I guess I'll get started with, it's a pleasure to be speaking with all of you today. I don't know, I look around the room, I see some people that I recognize, and I look forward to meeting other ones. So I'm here to talk on behalf of GoodLocal. I hope some of you have heard of us. If not, all of you have heard of what GoodLocal is and the impact we've made here in Winnipeg. I really want to, since the beginning, Chuck and I have really discussed about how we can help rural communities and how we can expand GoodLocal platforms. So I'm going to run through a quick little slideshow I made here. It's 10 slides, a little wordy at times, so read what you want. I won't read it word for word. Then I can open up for some Q&A in the end if we want about how we can help support local businesses in rural Manitoba. So I'll get on with, do I have it?
You should.
It says I can't.
Share screen.
It won't let me do it.
Oh.
Do you know how Linda will come in? Chuck, you want to talk while I do this so I can get my screen set up? Because it doesn't seem to be working out.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
So if I get the screen share.
Yeah, so just on, I know there was a question at the bottom just in regards to travel restrictions. To our understanding, nothing has changed. I don't know, Lauren, if you were on the call this morning with the province. I was not. I don't know if anything is coming. I would highly doubt it. Having had some discussions just in regards as well with some of the regional chambers, just in regards to the low case counts in specifically Prairie Mountain and the southern region. One of the things we're going to want to have a discussion with the province later this week is to, based on those the tracking that those numbers are in terms of moving from code red to code orange, would seem to be make a ton of sense. So I would expect something to come out later this week because of the March 5th deadline, that they'll start floating out some suggestions as to what the next phase of openings looks like. So I would expect that this weekend, and they'll go back and do their survey as what seems to be the case that they've been doing. So, Obby, we got it fixed here.
I'm going to log out and I'm going to log back in with my operations manager's accounts. I'll be back in 1 second. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Oh, Barb, don't get. If I knew any of the capacity reasons and rationales as to why government does things, I would potentially make a lot of money providing that advice. Government is not. I think it's been very clear with Dr. Rusin. They're going to take this very slow in terms of what that opening looks like. Even moving from that 25% capacity, whether they move that to a 50 or they meet it somewhere halfway in between, they're not providing a lot of direction at this point in time as to what that's going to look like and what the rationale behind that is, other than I wouldn't expect gatherings to change. I wouldn't expect anything outside of your household to change anytime soon. I think there's real concern over the variants, so that's going to continue to be a problem. in terms of how this opening looks. So I don't know the rationale on churches at a 10%. I think that's just, again, public health providing that a little bit of guidance. So other things, obviously, I know Canada United opened up this past week. Strongly encourage everyone to continue on with that as a great tool for any businesses looking for opportunities. Would be strongly encouraged. So, Abhi, we got you back now. I see something on the screen, so.
I'm here now, Chuck. My new name is from Visage to Lynn now.
Okay. All right. I think I see something up on the screen. Is that so? Let's go.
You see the GoodLocal Manitoba rural expansion?
I see it on my screen.
Okay. All right. So I will go on to slide 2 now. So here's just an agenda for today. What is GoodLocal? Some vendors, what they're saying about GoodLocal. So what is GoodLocal? For those of you who haven't heard what GoodLocal is, essentially it's an online multi-vendor platform. It's a marketplace where we put everything good, everything local in there. It's your one-stop shop for everything. If you really think of, I mean, a lot of businesses are trying to do this. A lot of communities are trying to do this. It's Amazon meets Etsy, meets Sobeys, meets Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries now. And we're just continuing to grow and expand, meets restaurants. So it's really everything local. So if you think of a platform that has everything good, everything local, that's our tagline. And we chose that for a reason because we want to be the resource for everyone to come to for everything local. We do not allow franchises on it if they're from out of province. So you have to be owned and operated locally. You can be a business who makes their products and sells it locally, but you can also be a business who is local but might get their products from somewhere else. So, if you think of like Food Fair, for example, they're one of our grocery suppliers. They don't make a lot of their own products. They bring everything in, but they are a local business and we want to support local businesses. And we have a lot of makers who actually make their own products. So here's a vendor testimonial. My experience with GoodLocal has been nothing but positive. Being a small business owner and also a one-woman show, I'll admit that when I was first approached by them, I was a bit hesitant about allowing someone else to sell goods and deliver my products. However, GoodLocal exceeded my expectations. Their platform has allowed me to reach a large customer base that I could not have done so easily on my own. They also provide the same level of care to my product and service that I expect myself to provide to my customers. The GoodLocal staff are easily accessible and will assist you with any question, concern you might have in a timely manner. They are also willing to collaborate with me in order to make my product work for their business model. I highly recommend GoodLocal to other businesses that are wanting to expand and be part of an online maker community. Now, when we first started, it was a sell to try to get 20 vendors on board. It was tough because this is the same concern a lot of businesses had. How will they handle their customer service? How will they handle the sales? What about my products? Will they give it the care they need? Now we have hundreds of testimonials from our vendors. We're actually over 400 vendors now on the platform. So when I had to reach out and launch with 20 vendors, we're now over 400. So this is just one of the many testimonials we're getting from vendor. The inception story of how GoodLocal started. GoodLocal was really started with a friend of mine, Ali, and I were, when the pandemic first hit in March and April, as a small business owner myself, restaurant owner, if you don't know, I have 6 restaurants and I was forced to close essentially all of them. And Ali is a doctor with a clinic who was also forced to close his clinic. Him and I were chatting about how can we support local? Everyone wants to support local. It's the tagline. Everyone says it. Politicians say it. Business owners say it. People say it. We want to support local. But how do you support local and stay home is number one problem. And number two is when people want to support local, they only know a handful of businesses they can support. Myself included, I could only go to 2 or 3 shops that I knew that were still open and get them money in their hands to support them. So Ali and I were thinking about there's got to be a platform where we can have everything local on one platform. All businesses of all types can be in one platform. If you want to support local, you can go there and buy from everyone. And so there wasn't one, so we decided to create one. Now, a lot of businesses don't have online platforms. They don't have an online presence. A lot of businesses aren't tech savvy enough with payment options, Stripe payments, websites, search engines, etc. We took care of all of that for businesses. So we handle everything for them. Every vendor will get a every vendor will get a storefront within the GoodLocal website where they can have their products, their prices, their story, their descriptions. They control it all. It's all just within the GoodLocal platform. A lot of businesses struggle with logistics. Delivery is very, very hard for businesses. And this is where I think rural Manitoba really, I hope you guys really like the idea we've come up with. Local businesses here in Winnipeg are paying anywhere from $7.50 to $15 to get that product in the hands of their customer. Now, when you buy a beard oil from a local maker or a necklace for $25 and they're paying $7.50 to $15 to deliver that product to the customer, you have to think of where their margin is. By the time they pay themselves, pay the product, ship it out the door, they're left with nothing. So we said, well, maybe we can not only have a platform for it, we can fulfill the logistics side of it, which has been our secret sauce. There's hundreds of other platforms that have launched during the pandemic before and are going to continue to launch. But the one thing that I will say, not the one, I think that, I mean, there's probably a couple others trying to do this, but we offer the logistics chain of it, which is one of the most challenging part for businesses, even if they have their online platform and an online presence and whatnot. So we want to support everything and really handle that for the businesses. Since we launched in September, we had 30 vendors about on board, and we had about 10 to 20 orders coming in a week for local vendors. My original idea of this, and I was telling Chuck, this would run out of the back of one of my other businesses, just something to keep going, supporting the local, having some fun with it, and giving back. And we had 10 to 20 orders, and that was fine. Fast forward, a couple months into Code Red, our orders went from 18 to 254 to 750, and then over 1,000 a week was our consistent orders. It was 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. Then unfortunately our website crashed because we had too many people on there and too many orders, which is, I guess, is a problem. So we were shut down for a week. Since then, we've had to move warehouses 3 times now. We're now in a 7,000 square foot warehouse, so we can take care of all of our vendors. We have over 15 staff, 1.1 million website views. So if you look at that number alone, in 3 months, we have 1.5 million website views. You look at the strength in numbers there. I don't think any other site is going to generate that much traffic, that many eyes on the products of local businesses. So we're finding that 95% of customers that order on GoodLocal are ordering from 3 or more vendors. So what that tells us is they're going there to shop for maybe one thing and they're buying another thing and another thing. So this is where the strength of community really comes in. Where rural Manitoba, I think all the chambers can really play a part in this, is you're offering the products to so many more people and so many more different products to these 1.5 million website views, over 12,000 Instagram followers, and we did $500,000 in sales since launch, really in November to mid-January. That's where we're at right now. So I think we would have been well over that, maybe in the 650 range if our website didn't go down 2 weeks before Christmas. So what is GoodLocal and why is it? Well, why am I making this pitch? Is I really believe in, let's not reinvent the wheel. We have a working model. We have a working platform that works. It works for our vendors. It's an A to Z offering. So it's not just a website where you go there and buy the product and the vendor is still left shipping it. I'll digress here for a side story. Chuck, how much time do I have today to present on this? Just curious, sorry.
Maybe go another 5 minutes, and then we'll leave about 10 to 15 minutes for questions, Abhi.
Okay, sounds good. So, the delivery aspect of it is the real important part of this. When we first started at Beard and Brawn Local Product, I ordered a beard oil from him to test our system, and he mailed it to me. Cost him $12 to mail it, and the beard oil was $20. I called him. I said, Dan, why are you mailing it to me? He said, I don't know how else to get it to you. This is how I've always ran my business. I said, you drop it off to us. We will take care of the rest. This is where I really say, don't reinvent the wheel, make the wheel better. We have a proven track record, and I really think we can do this together by joining with the chamber. So, here's our vision. We want to expand across Manitoba, start off with a couple rural communities first, see how that goes, and then expand from there. Benefits of GoodLocal. So this is where the real pitch to the communities is if we can get the vendors from rural communities to jump on board with the platform, right away you're exposing yourself to 800,000 more potential customers. You have 350 vendors, I told you, it's built-in site. We take care of all the marketing and advertising. We have 3 people on board full-time to do that. We offer the logistics of it. rural communities right now, I mean, I'm not a rural Manitoban, so I will digress to you or leave this to you, but I would think it would be hard for one community to get a product to another community, let alone get that product into Winnipeg hands. I'm not sure how businesses would even do that in these communities other than paying an exorbitant shipping rate. We'll take care of that. If the vendors can bring us the products, we will take care of the fulfillment to the customer. So the partnership is we want to bring businesses together. We want to take care of delivery of the rural products to Winnipeg customers. And the third phase is we actually want to deliver rural products to another community in Manitoba as well. So geography is no longer going to be a limiting factor for the success of small businesses. All the businesses need to do is get the products to us. So we have a large enough warehouse. We have a massive walk-in freezer. We have massive fridges to store products. It's a secure location. We have a ton of space and we need businesses on it. So all the vendors have to do is bring the product to us on a consignment basis, which 90% of our vendors are. They bring the products to us. We take care of everything else. We put them on the platform. All we need is a picture and a description. We have an onboarding team. We get them on the website. We sell the products for them. We're coming up with creative ways to advertise and promote businesses. I think the rural launch will be a huge one to get people on the site. Order comes in, we fulfill the order, we pack the order, we deliver the order. The vendor has to do nothing else other than bring us the product. We actually even hold the product for free for them. Some vendors, depending on the size of the product, that's for discussion, but majority, 90% of our customers, 95% of our vendors, we hold it there. Dead Horse Cider, Winkler, Manitoba, actually, he drove in today and dropped off a couple boxes, and he said, Obby, there's got to be a better way for us to do this. And I said, we're working on it. But here's one vendor who brings us their products. The next phase 2 of it, so phase 1 is we store the products here, we deliver within Winnipeg. So we open up all the rural communities, businesses to Winnipeg. Phase 2 would then be opening up the rural businesses to other rural communities. This one might be a little bit harder to execute down the road, but we do plan on having 1 day a month delivery to rural communities, and we'll rotate the communities based on, set times. But again, same model. Products will all come to our fulfillment center. We would take orders for, let's say, Steinbach or Winkler for the second week of March. All the orders will be fulfilled. We'll load them in the truck and we'll drop them off. Depending on how big and how many orders there could be potential for job creation in these communities. Because what we would do is we would drop the products off at one center, hopefully a chamber or a partner business, and then we'd have local drivers come pick up the products and drop them all off. We have all the IT, we have all the systems in place. As this grows, maybe there's need for fulfillment centers in these small communities to help us facilitate these orders. Here's another company that's with us, Boho Soul Kombucha. They're doing great on our platform. We have a fridge full of their products right now. And as the orders come in, we simply take it out and we sell it for them. Otherwise, they're very limited in how they can sell in Winnipeg. Amanda Lynn from Manola, Steinbach. This is a great one. We sell a lot of these products. How it works, business signs up. You send us your info, drop off your products. We take care of the rest. It's as simple as that. I really want to emphasize we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Other businesses might be trying to do this in the locations, but you're not going to have the 1.5 million sites. If we can bring everything together in one platform, GoodLocal will become the place to go to shop local, just like Amazon is now. You want something, you go to Amazon. Well, if we can get GoodLocal big enough with enough of a product offering, people will simply come to GoodLocal and they'll find the product there. Because if you give people the opportunity to support local, you make it easy for them, people will do it. And that's proven with this last 2 months of operation. So the big thing is we need your help. Here's our little team. We have more of us, but this is the only ones available for photo day. Some analytics, we've already gone over this. Questions? Kind of flew through that last little bit because Chuck cut me off for 5 more minutes. So
Sorry, man.
All good.
So we'll open it up for a question. Maybe I'll kind of start it off. So if a business signs up, what's the cost to them, Avi? How does it work?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing. We don't charge a business anything. So if you don't sell anything, you don't pay anything. We load them for free. So they get us the products. We load them for free. We have an onboarding team that will do that for them. If you don't sell anything, you don't pay anything. There's no contract. You can leave at any time as well. If you do sell something, it varies on the type of product. So when I started this, it was designed to, and still it takes, to help businesses. So that scale varies from business to business. Some businesses don't have margin in them. If you're, some of our, let's say, Lynn, what's an example of one that doesn't have margin? Well, for example, restaurants. We have restaurants that are on it. My restaurants are on there. I know when Skip the Dishes charges me 20 points, I'm getting killed. I'm only making 3 or 4 points on that. So I'm not going to go out there to a restaurant to say, I want 20 points from you. It doesn't make sense. So our food vendors are on for 10%. I mean, it's not a huge money for GoodLocal, but we charge them 10% because we want them to succeed. Now, the thing is, me as a business owner, people aren't just ordering shawarma khan garlic sauce. They're getting that, then they're getting a candle from Colin Canary, and they're getting, candy from Nutty Club, and then they're getting a hat from Off the Hook, Manitoba, and they're getting honey from Faith Apiaries, and they're combining all that together in one box. So if we, as a business model, we can go 10, 15 on some, 20 on some. The maximum we go is 20, and the lowest we go is 10. So it varies on product to product. But we make it work with the vendor. If the vendor says it doesn't work, I'll make it work for them.
Okay. Questions? Feel free to jump in, everyone.
It's a quiet room this morning.
I know. You're so impressive. You're so impressive, that's why.
Right, yeah, right. That was a good slideshow.
There's a bunch of questions in the chat, Chuck.
Okay. Okay, let's kind of go through them. I can see them. You get monetary kickbacks for helping you secure our local businesses. So would that be for the chambers? Any kind of thoughts on that? If the chambers put this up on their site and do promotion of it, is there anything that can come back to the chambers, Avi?
I'm sure we could. I don't see why we couldn't. I mean, I haven't thought of that, but I'm sure we could, depending on the number of businesses we get and the sales we get. I would love to support chambers. I would love to get some sort of, I mean, we have to look at what those metrics look like. Yep. Obviously, what are the sales? What are the businesses? Is the chamber, my vision as this grows is we will need a stronghold in every community, right? We will need someone to help facilitate those delivery drop-offs, those pickups, stuff like that. So if the chambers want to help us with that, of course, I think we're totally open to having some sort of financial kickback.
Another question, what kind of processes are in place to ensure the order accuracy when it comes to getting communities to rural communities that fear about order mix-ups?
So there will always be some order mix-ups. That's the nature of this business, I think. When we first started with 1,000 orders, we had a lot of mix-ups. I will say in the last couple of weeks, we've had, a few 300-400 orders, and we've only had 1 or 2 mix-ups. That stuff will happen at times. They'll go to pick the wrong jam off the shelf. Now, what we do is when the orders come in, every vendor will have their own dashboard. So they can log in and see their reports and their orders. So they just go to orders, they pick the drop sheet, and they'll get a sheet that says, these are your orders for this week. Now, with rural, then those will drop, they will drop those off. Now, the thing with rural communities is we don't want local businesses coming in every week dropping products off. That defeats the purpose of you coming in every week and dropping off products. So if we hold it on consignment, if you give us 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, we put it on the shelf. From there, it's our responsibility. So if we make a mistake picking the product, we reimburse the customer. We'll make it right. We'll do an extra drop. That's on us. So everything's laid out. It's digital. We get order numbers. We scan it. We make sure it's the right barcode. We put it in the box. We scan it. We drop it off at the customer's door. We take a picture. We send that picture. The customer gets an email very similar to other platforms or a text message saying your driver's on the way. Your driver's arrived. Here's a picture of your product at your front door. Go pick it up. So we do have systems in place, and we're getting better every week.
Avi, is there a minimum amount of goods you can take on consignment?
There is not a minimum amount of goods. I mean, the thing with consignment is you want to make sure you give us enough products to sell. You don't want to be coming into town every week and dropping products off. But if you are coming into town every week to drop products off, that's a good thing. That means you're selling a lot. We do limit it. We don't want 400 jars of honey. Give us 10. Let's see how we do with 10, and we can go from there. And we roll from there. We work with vendors. We have an onboarding team, and we have vendor partners to help them succeed.
Other question, just in regards to, on regard to rural, would there be any chance for doing rural pickups to take?
Yeah, so that's gonna be part of phase 3, I believe, right? So phase 1 right now is we got to get these businesses exposed to 800,000 people. That's the problem right now. Like, I think rural communities are really limited in what they can sell in their community. And then there's a crazy shipping cost. So number 1 is we got to get those businesses on the platform. Once they're on the platform, we can expose them to customers here. That's great. Number two is we have to get the rural communities connected with each other. So everyone from Winkler, they're all on consignment of products here. Someone in Winkler orders a product that's made out in Steinbach. Well, great. We have it on consignment. We put it in the van. We drop it off once a month. Now we're connecting rural communities to each other. The third phase is what we want to do is drop-offs and pickups at locations. So if we know we have a big enough pickup and we know we're coming to Winkler on the second Friday of every month, while the vendors then will drop off all their products, hopefully with the chamber if we can partner with, and they'll have a section saying these are all pickups for GoodLocal. We roll up in our van, we drop off all the deliveries. We've now hired a few delivery drivers out in your community. They're fulfilling those deliveries for us. We load up the van with all the vendors from Winkler, take them back. I don't know why I keep saying Winkler. Sorry, it's just Winkler's in my mind. It's easy. I don't know.
It's targeting Winkler.
I have no preference over Winkler or Morden, just for the record. I hear there's big beef there.
There's no beef. Zero beef. They're all chambers. They all get along. Just a question. If you were to kind of, obviously we've got like 68 chambers in the province that could potentially come on board. Would there be an opportunity, and the question is, would GoodLocal set up to almost have like a chamber representative that would deal strictly with the chambers and sort of help with any kind of marketing and that kind of stuff? So from your point.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea too. A lot of this is I'm learning as I go too, right? So I'm open for ideas and suggestions, but I think that's a great idea. I think we start off with a handful of chambers that geographically make sense to at least pilot the project with. From there we expand, and from there we expand. But yes, I imagine if we get 68 chambers on board, we'll need someone full-time to handle that, right? The messaging, the pushing out of products, the making sure the vendors are taken care of. The big inception with GoodLocal is we want to support these businesses. So that's definitely a great idea, and I think it's something we can do.
Any other questions from the chambers? I think I've gone through everything that was in the chat. If not, Abby, are you able to send your slide deck with me as well, and I can flip that around to the chambers as well?
Yeah, of course. I think the last ask I'll leave at, Chuck, is with the chamber here is that GoodLocal will only be successful for rural Manitoba if there's the buy-in of the chambers. I'm a big chamber guy, the Winnipeg Chamber. I was the board of directors, and I'm part of the Manitoba Chamber now. The chambers are there to support the businesses. And if the businesses can have access to a platform to sell their products to 800,000, we really try to take care of everything for them. I really need the chambers advocating on the behalf of GoodLocal, saying, hey, get on this platform, guys. Give it a shot. You don't sell anything, you don't pay anything. But if you sell, why not take that opportunity to try to sell? So, we need the chambers. I need the chamber support to, or at least get me access to your businesses. I don't know if you guys can do that. Give me the list. I'll get my team calling them. And we'll call them and we'll get them on the platform. And we will all have success together, because if we don't start supporting local in 5 years, the only thing left will be Amazon and Costco and Walmart, because our local economy will be decimated.
Awesome. Thanks, Abby. So if any of the other chambers have questions, flip them to me. I'll get Abby's presentation and we'll flip it around, and then we can take some next steps on this. All right?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much, guys. Chuck, am I expected to stick around, or do I leave?
No, you don't have, you can go. You can go. It looks like you're busy.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me chat today.
Thanks, Ab.
Cheers, guys.
Okay, thanks everyone. I don't know if there's other items up for discussion that anybody kind of wanted to bring up. I had kind of touched on what I wanted to. I'm open to any kind of questions if you want now.
I have a question. We were just curious about the wage subsidy. It's going to be ending. Do you know what the plan is next? Because if all these companies that are utilizing the wage subsidy program all of a sudden don't have access to that,
I would.
I'm on the call. Sorry, I don't have my camera on.
Hi, Karen. There she is. Hi, Karen.
Sorry, I didn't have my laptop open. We were just looking at this week, because technically the wage subsidy is extended till June, but periods 14, 15, 16, 17 haven't even been posted on the site yet. So we don't know what the criteria are. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and see if I can see anything. Because the issue that we sort of analyzed yesterday when we were digging through everything is that in theory, if you've recovered somewhat and you're now comparing your year-over-year revenue losses, you might not actually have a loss compared to last year in March, because that was sort of the real steep jump off point, right? So that's what we need to figure out is maybe they're in the process right now of recalculating how the subsidy is going to work. So I promise if we see anything, we will we'll shoot it out for sure.
Yeah. So it's we're hopeful that they are forecasting for that as well. If we're thinking about there.
We know it continues till June. We just don't know what the model is in terms of how it's going to work.
Okay.
Other questions? Seeing none. All right, we'll keep pushing stuff out to you. We'll continue to obviously have these calls every Tuesday, like we have. Looking at we'll hopefully be moving some stuff out soon on support local stuff. I know I've had a discussion with a number of you that are working on some different things. I want to keep plowing forward on that. I think as we continue to open, my one concern is that we're not opening as quickly as we would like. I don't know if that 25% is going to increase this week. My hope is that there will be some discussion in regards to that. I know I've been talking to movie theaters again as well. So in a lot of your communities, in terms of, getting some of those kind of things opened, I'm not getting a good read on the government right now in terms of what they're prepared to open and what they're looking at for the next stage. So as well, we're continuing to push on the bridge grant in terms of a third tranche of the bridge grant. We had that discussion with the finance minister last week that there's a need for a lot of businesses are still not at any kind of capacity, that there be a third tranche of the bridge grant for another $5,000. The government has the money, but they're not moving on it. And so we're going to keep pushing on that one as well on behalf of members. So those are some of the big things that we're doing. Again, strongly encourage. I know Brandon's done some stuff. A number of chambers are sending in letters to the ministers raising some of these issues. Keep having those discussions with your local MLAs as well, letting them know here are the things that are kind of going on in your communities. It does make a difference. We were able to, with the Paw and Flin Flon and the northern chambers, get some movement for them. So continue to do that work is what I would let you know. And if you need help on that, let us know as well. I'm happy to talk to any of your chambers at any time to assist in any of this kind of stuff as well. So maybe if there is no more questions or anything to be brought up, we will wrap it up for today. All right, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.